18th day of July. 18th day of July. Wow. Is time moving? Yes, sirree. Summer came, summer went. Get back to school again. You know, your life and your health are very important. And basically, it's in our hands. What makes remedy this naturally important is because we offer things that help you understand that the quality of life you have is dependent upon you and how you live and how you don't live, how you eat, how you don't eat. That is what it's all about. How about all these things that are happening to us and the people we know, people we love and care about, and some you're glad they got sick, so we hope to get them out of the way. Cruel, but that's the way some people talk about it. Just something as simple as watermelon. Watermelon, get it, eat it. I personally get tired of chewing watermelon because you pull it in it's like chewing water. Which actually, did you know that when we drink our water that we're supposed to take a swig? Make sure I got the hole here. Slush it around, and we're supposed to chew it. Yeah, it releases something in the water. It releases something in our body to be able just to chew water. Well, watermelon. I prefer taking mine and now here's what most of us will do. We will take the red or the yellow part of the watermelon and we will take and eat it. Well, me, I love putting it in a blender. I do. I take it, and I normally add another juice because it doesn't have enough water in it when you first do it coming out of the meat of the watermelon to get the blender to catch and blend everything like it's supposed to do. So I will put another juice in there. Grape juice, apple juice, acai, some liquid, or maybe just some more water. And I will take and have watermelon, smoothie, juice, whatever you want to be. But there is another thing, and I was looking up and I was looking for some healing foods, and looking for some healing nutrition, looking for some healing diets, looking for some healing supplements, and as to what I want to bring to you today. And on this July 18th, I love it. And what is it all about? Well, watermelon, did you know that you could actually juice the rind of the watermelon? I usually take and cut the part out that is touched by everything, and then the piece between the outside of the watermelon and the meat that's red, right in between there, is something that good. Listen to what it says in the book here. When you juice watermelon, add the rind. Watermelon juice is delicious and great for the kidneys and the bladder. Got kidney and bladder issues? How about some watermelon? It acts as a natural diuretic. The juice of the rind is high in sodium, and it's not salt, it's sodium, which nourishes the lymph glands. Let's get this right. Nourishes the lymph fluids and stomach lining. Now, some of you have been drinking too much, or know somebody's been drinking too much, and they're complaining about stomach issues. How about checking out and see if watermelon rind juice will help the stomach lining? You will also receive chlorophyll from the rind, which builds the blood. And I am an encourager of people drinking chlorophyll. And it's important. And if you can get it more different ways than other, you can. You know, them pot liquor, collared pot liquor. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, collards. and cooking them. And then when you do that, you got juice water that you cook those collards in. And we used to feed that to the hogs. And we call it slopping the hogs. We were colicking it and turniping it and giving them the liquor from the pot liquor. So it's important to think about that. So I was excited when I came across the information about the watermelon because I've got another one I bought, and I buy it when I can with the seeds. Yep, here's what I do. I peel the outside. You can leave it all there if you want to. I just like the rind between the red part and the very outside, which everything touches and rides on the trucks, and it comes in contact with everything. So I do peel that off. And then I will take the rind and the red and the seeds, and I'll make a smoothie out of it, or basically beverage. And what about the seeds? Watermelon seeds. Seeds in any and everything is new life. That's where the next generation comes from. So when I take and I enjoy something, that's why it's important to, I'm jumping back and forth here a minute, my mind's going several different ways, trying to bring this in, take this out, but go back to this. When you get and you eat the seeds, now if you've got something like a problem with that, like you shouldn't be doing things that get caught up in your intestinal tract, then you may not want to do this. But if you can, I grind up the seeds, the rind, and the meat of the watermelon, and I love it. Make it cold. You could actually put a few ice cubes in there if you're going to drink it right away, or make it. And what I normally do is I take the watermelon, we get it, put it in a gallon plastic bag there, and have it where it doesn't take but a few minutes to make. And the anticipation of knowing that chlorophyll is in the process of cleaning my liver, my kidneys, my bladder. And that was where I was going to start today, was talking about what we put in the mouth and going down. I love this story about the undiagnosed ailments that are going on with people. And the lady from the New York Times comes in there, and she puts all these symptoms of her person there, and it goes around the world, and people see if they can identify with it and make recommendations to find an answer as to what's going on. The one I watched yesterday was where a guy just started, got that forget syndrome, and he ended up losing his job because he couldn't think correctly. And they did x-rays of the brain, and there was white things in the brain mixed in with the brain matter, and nobody knew what it was. But they found out what it was. It actually came from the Gulf War syndrome. And this is amazing. And this may apply to you, or may apply to somebody you know. But what was happening in the Gulf War, they were actually burning the oil wells, they were blowing up underground bunkers and stuff, and all of this toxic chemicals was in the air. And of it, 1/3 of the soldiers in Desert Storm are affected by this syndrome. And finally they got a chance to diagnose what this gentleman had, and it was the Gulf War syndrome. And he's able to get some help, because this is another thing that is kind of cool. Because here it is, the guy out. He spent 8 years in the military. He worked in the prison system for 16 years, and they had to let him go because he couldn't, his thinking wasn't keeping up with what he needed to keep up with. And he was about to lose his house, lose his family, and everything else. And prayer and people being at the right place at the right time were able to say, hey, buddy, you may want to check into the Gulf War syndrome. Oh, the part I was getting ready to say was that I believe it's 1/3 of all the soldiers that were in Desert Storm are affected, have been affected, or will be affected because of the chemicals and the poisons and everything they came in contact with. And that was 240,000 of our soldiers that were there in Desert Storm were affected and being affected by the syndrome from the Gulf War. So the toxins, the poisons, and then there are things that, let me go back. What I was getting ready to say is that the gentleman was on the outside, away from the military doctor. He wasn't going to the VA hospital and not taking advantage of that when he first got out. But the what they were saying on the program was this, that it's hard a lot of times when something is related to something like Gulf War syndrome. The people involved in having this issue go to doctors that are not aware of the chemicals and the toxins and the poisons and the side effect and these things that can be diagnosed that were caused because of the military and not because of being a civilian. Therefore, they do not look at this and know how to even go to check into it because they do not have the information about what went on and the people exposed to these things in Desert Storm and other wars. Like go back to Vietnam and the defoliant that was there, taking all the leaves off the trees, ended up taking and killing the soldiers. So, and the issue is when it comes to the medical society as we know it today, if they don't have a diagnosis, they don't know how to treat it, then we can't get well. So that's what we're talking about in finding out how to diagnose, how to find out what's going on. And therefore, I believe that it's not right for us to leave out the ingredients from plants. I was given to me just because we've been doing a product we've gotten great result with in the last probably 6 or 8 months called Liver Restore. And it's basically probiotics. And I'm getting people coming in and they're trying this Liver Restore that we have at Remedy This Naturally. And it is making a difference by the enzymes, also by the probiotics that are in there, and helping the body have something something good, something that helps with the body to be able to say, thank you, you've given me what I need. I was reading one information where Bernard Jensen, famous, fabulous gentleman that helped with natural healing and health, and his daughter-in-law Karen Jensen has led on and continued his goal of helping people to use natural remedies for healing. And one of the things that they were talking about in the issue, I was reading the stories about Bernard Jensen, that the individual said they could live off of a cola drink and donuts. So Dr. Jensen said, okay, you could live off of cola and donuts. Then I suggest that you eat nothing else but donuts and cola. It lasts about a week to 10 days. And the person was calling Dr. Jensen back and says, no, this ain't going to work because of all the negative things that are going on in my body since I just cut out everything, made this wise comment or crack that I can live off of cola and donuts and my body will know how to take care of itself. And when it happened, they said, no, I can't do it. Then he said, well, Dr. Jensen asked the patient, says, well, what are you wanting to do? What are you craving? He said, I'm craving vegetable soup. Dr. Jensen said, I suggest you make you some vegetable soup. And think about the vegetable soup. And how you got so much in one pot. Not so much now. Here we are in July the 18th, 2022. And but when you think about it, there's something about, depending on what you put in your vegetable soup, okay? I'm just going to name a few things. Carrots, celery, potatoes, string beans. The list goes on as to what your family tradition is. Now, each one of those items have significant vitamins and minerals and nourishment in it, even when you cook it. And there again, when you cook it and you got the pot liquor left over, drink it. Save it. Don't throw the pot liquor away. You're not raising hogs, so you don't need to feed the hogs. But the pot liquor has a digestible ingredient, because it's a liquid. It can go and it can be already kind of digested, waiting to go into our system. And so you got all of those different things that have different vitamins, minerals, etc., and we put it in and it goes into the body, and guess what? The computer up here says, I want you to take and go ahead and please give me that vegetable soup. I don't want no more cola and donuts as a diet only. Occasionally, yeah, but it's not the regimen that we need. So we got what we need if we will give it what is in the food system. And when you're talking about it and you look at what's in the cola, what's in the donut, how much refined sugar is in there, and other things that are not important, good to us. I was reading a recipe for Wendy's Frosty and how they put the different things together and how they make it. All of these things are there, but are they good for us? I want to go, before I get into talking about the juices, talking about the teas, and what they can do for us. And what is so cool about this is that each one of these items that we make smoothies, I mean, Remy just naturally got a heck of a smoothie. But then I was looking through, here again, I was looking at healing with foods, nutrition, diet, and supplements. So you're healing with the foods, nutrition, diet, supplements, and what they can do for us in our quality of life. when the body starts aching, we talked about last week that we had joint pain and we had inflammation, and you talked about gout. We spent a time talking about gout and the things that would help to reverse the negative impact on our body from what we were putting into it. And one of those things was celery seed. And celery seed helping to get rid of the pain, the symptom of the gout, and other items added to it. So what I'm going to do, and we're going to get back to this, but I want to jump going over to back to the liver. I want to finish the statement on that, but then I want to talk about herbal teas and talk about the different herbal teas. Now, you say, well, I don't drink tea in the summertime. It's too hot. Well, to drink hot tea. Well, I've got right here, water, ice, green tea, and what I did, and honey. And then the green tea was an antioxidant green tea in the sense that it added more than the green tea to help it with the body to take some of the stress off of it. So you can do that. So, but I want to skip back and talk about the liver. I want to talk about something that's very important to us, and check out when you go to Remedy This Naturally, Liver Restore. The liver is critical to make sure that it's a non-fatty, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. It's a thing that we're hearing more and more about. Because listen to this. This is kind of like, what? The deaths from liver cirrhosis of the liver, jumped 65% in the U.S. between 1999 and 2016. Now, key factors contributing to liver disease and obesity are DIET, diet. Diet can't be good for you because it has die written in the middle of it. D-I-E, die. And anything that has die in it, I don't know if I want it or not. But the diet and alcohol consumption. Even now, I don't have the statistics for it, and it wasn't in this particular article because it wasn't specifically pointing out about alcohol consumption. Or maybe it did. Yeah, that was chronic liver disease, cirrhosis of the liver. That was one of the footnotes. Back to where I was. Liver deaths, liver cirrhosis jumped 65%. And what I was in the process of saying was that we have a lot more alcohol drinking, social drinking, not only beer and wine, but liquor, all the different alcohol, anything that has alcohol in it, okay, has jumped. And have an array of liver disorders. In the past, viral hepatitis and excess alcoholic ingestion were considered the greatest threats to the liver. So, I always talk about it, and even today when someone comes in and says, I've got something wrong with my liver, as non-fatty liver, but I don't drink, I don't participate in alcohol. What's going on? Today, the surge in diabetes and obesity has resulted in an epidemic of non-fatty liver disease. I'll repeat that. Today, the surge in diabetes and obesity has resulted in an epidemic of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, which is characterized by the accumulation of fatty compounds in the liver in the absence of chronic alcoholic use. I think so. It can progress over time to cause liver fibrosis, which is tissue scarring that can lead to liver cancer, cirrhosis, and or liver failure. So that's something that's going on. That's why I said I wanted to bring that out to us in order to help understand that 65%, folks, that means almost doubled. Extracts of the herb, listen carefully because this is something I really like. I like how it works with the liver. I think this ingredient, a milk thistle and liver restore, put the two of those together, I believe the body says thank you because we're giving it something that can deal with the issue. Extracts of the herb milk thistle containing the compound silymarin have long been used to protect liver function in patients with liver disease. Did you notice it says prolonged, been used to protect the liver? Several clinical trials found that milk thistle alone, listen carefully now, or in combination with vitamin E and phosphochlorine-induced fatty liver fibrosis and enzyme levels in patients with NAFDL. A meta-analysis of 8 random controlled trials found that milk thistle may help improve the fatty liver disease. Milk thistle has been shown to improve blood markers of liver damage and may also help reduce fasting glucose and LDL cholesterol elevation that often accompany the fatty liver. Measuring liver enzyme blood levels is an important tool for identifying liver injury and helping track response to treatment. Liver function tests are included. If someone wants to do a blood test, you can get a blood test and you can get liver function tested as well. The liver is susceptible to toxins known as hepatotoxins, which include the commonly used pain medication acetaminophen, alcohol, and others. In rats, milk thistle extract help prevent liver damage when given before or during the exposure to a liver toxin. In one group, they did a study of patients with alcohol included liver disease who were treated with milk thistle extract showed improvements in liver enzymes and liver pathology. Cirrhosis is the end stage of chronic liver injury in both alcohol and non-alcoholic liver disease. It is generally considered irreversible, but scientists have observed promising improvements with the milk thistle extract in clinical trials. It ain't over, and this is just something that used to be said all the time. now it's probably derogatory to say it. It ain't over till the fat lady sings. And so that's probably discriminatory this day and time, but it ain't over till it's over. In one study, giving 420 milligrams of milk thistle extract to patients with cirrhosis was associated with an overall high 4-year survival rate. For optimal absorption in standardized extract of milk thistle is used by readers and that made more bioavailable by a phosphophilic delivery system. If you have some question about that, how you can get better results with the milk thistle, let me know and I can give you a reference instead of me stumbling over these words here. Other nutrients that promote liver health. Some nutrients have also shown promise as a way to help control liver disease. In human trials, vitamin E, tocopherol, improved markers of liver disease seen on an ultrasound, while reducing liver enzymes C, reactant protein, and signs of oxidative stress. So if you want that, we can talk to you about something that's got all those ingredients in there. It's Neuromag. We can get that in. But milk thistle, I've liked milk thistle for a long time. It's just been great product. So we can get the phosphorodiethylamine and acetylcysteine, glutathione. There is a product that scientists have made available to help with the liver and other functions with that, okay? Let's see if you've got anything, one more. Yeah, there's a life extension advanced milk thistle combination that would be one that would have all the things necessary to meet with the research that has been done. Okay, that's what I want to talk to you about that. And then I want to jump back and go to where we were talking about and what we can do, talking about the vegetable soup and the craving for it because the body knows what it needs. The body was designed to live and not die. The Garden of Eden was made for God to put his loved children and give them what they need. The problem is we are just as, what's the right word? Screwed up as Adam and Eve because we want to make it what we want to do. We want us to change the flavor. It's like we make something good, okay? And then we got to put refined sugar in it to make it better. No, we don't. Okay. Tea is what I want to talk about, herbal teas. And tea can make us more alert at work, help heal a sore throat, or help us sleep at night. If you know the healing values in herbal teas, you can choose the best one for your current needs. Herbs are rich in vitamins, minerals, and healing oils. And And the author says, I have listed the most important of these for each tea. It is good to understand, however, that as herbs' healing power lies within the synergistic interaction between all of the nutrients within it and not in one lone single element. And that's what's so neat about using an herbal tea. You're using the makeup of that herb, and it has what we need, and not just in one single element of, does it have magnesium? Does it have vitamin C? Does it have vitamin E? Probably has a little bit of all of it, plus more that I didn't even mention. It says, between all of the nutrients within it and not in one single element. Following is a list of various herbal teas and their medicinal benefit. These teas can be drunk with or without sweeteners. If you like your tea a bit sweet, you can add stevia, you can add agave nectar, you can add xylitol, pure maple syrup, raw honey. Stick your finger in it. It's supposed to be so sweet, but not when it's too hot and burn it. So I'm going to talk about, but it says, if you do not want to drink these herbs as teas, but feel they would be beneficial to you, you can take them in capsule or tincture form. Check with a knowledgeable herbalist or physician to make sure they are right for you. Do some homework. With all the Google experience today, it's amazing what you can learn. That is so refreshing. And I love it. Okay. One of the favorite, and one of the things that, and not because it's first in the alphabet, but because the studies have shown, especially in cattle and high-prized livestock, that this food, this grass, is critical for the nourishment and nutrition of the animals that need the extra high-dollar hay. And that's alfalfa. Alfalfa tea is rich in minerals, including, listen to what this has to say, alfalfa is including, and this way you can make sprouts out of it. You don't have to do tea, it just happens to be my theme for this show on the 18th of July from Remedy This Naturally at 1140 Benvenue Road, is that teas get a lot of attention. We have a lot of teas. We have a lot of teas that are in bulk where you can take and use a strainer, put your tea in there, pour the hot water over it, and let it get to right where you want it. Not too strong, not too weak. Put what you want into it, or blend some other items other than alfalfa. There may be another mint you want to put with it. Spearmint, peppermint, and give it a little, to me, mint is so refreshing. It just takes our mind, our body, and puts it at a different level. It's just a notch up with mint. But I'm talking about alfalfa, and I said it's rich in minerals, including calcium, magnesium, iron, and potassium. It is also high in chlorophyll. You will notice that over and over again, chlorophyll is going to keep popping up, because chlorophyll is to the plant as to what our blood is to our body. And chlorophyll is cleanser, detoxifier, and it's just, it's where the rubber meets the road in helping us. It also high in chlorophyll and vitamins. Listen to this. Remember last week we talked about Mendel's vitamin and mineral book and the difference and how he has over the years helped educate with vitamins and minerals and what they can do for those who participate in taking them. A, B, C, D, K, and P. It contains all 8 of the essential amino acids. Alfalfa leaf tea aids in digestion, builds blood, and relieves inflammation. It can also be helpful with ulcers, urinary tract infections, and arthritis. I know the value of alfalfa. I know the value of having an herb, unable to walk up the steps because my knees don't want to bend, and then learning that I can have chlorophyll, I can have alfalfa in my diet, and it will change. I back up. It did change how I perceive life and made me pay more attention as to what I stuck in my mouth, what I put in my mind, and how I was able to overcome the negative of the poison in the foods and the sugars and the things that just not good for us, okay? And alfalfa was my buddy. And if you think about it, what do they feed prized livestock when it comes to grass or hay? Alfalfa. Great way to go, great thing to do. Okay. The other, you probably don't hear too much about this one. I'll go ahead. I had taken it out because maybe that's not a good thing because it's not as recognized as other herbs. But anise, that's not the opposite of a nephew. Anise, A-N-I-S-E, we want the seed, we want to make a tea. Anise seed is a wonderful digestive aid. It relieves, listen carefully, anise relieves nausea, flatulence. People around you will greatly appreciate when your absence of flatulence has resolved itself. Cramping. It can also be given to babies to relieve colic. And if you're afraid to do it, you could actually even take a little bit of that tea and strong a little bit, and you can just rub it over the abdomen to help relieve that pain when it comes to colic. Anthole, often referred to as the oil of anise seed, is aromatic and gives anise its licorice flavor. Anethole has cognitive properties, and it helps get rid of gas and settle the digestive system, and antispasmodic qualities, helps soothe cramps, menstrual cramps, any cramp, can't go to the bathroom cramp. The anthole is, talking about the name for anise, is also an expectorant, antimicrobial abilities, which makes it excellent for releasing mucus and healing sore throats. Anise contains several phytonutrients included. Think about it. What do each one of these things do? probably don't know, need to do some research, but I just want to let you know they are there. And anise contains several phytonutrients, including rutin, which helps tighten the connective tissue in the gums. Key nutrients are vitamin A, B, C, and E. Its mineral includes magnesium, calcium, iron, zinc, and potassium. Then these are just to kind of give you, I'm not going to go through all of them today, don't have time, but the concept, if you can understand the concept that there is a food, element, herb, oil, something to help deal with whatever is going on as our body decreases in nourishment it's supposed to have. Think about this for a moment. Mama gets in the motherly way. Let me explain what that means. The Amish, when I was working with them up in Indiana years ago, they do not think the word pregnant is supposed to be uttered. It was at that time anyway. So they would say, she is in the motherly way, which means she is expecting child. So we have that available to understand that whatever that baby needs when it is being formed in the mother's womb was given the nourishment from the seed that was planted to what's going on in the body and what is needed. So when the nutrients are there, the baby is going to take what it needs at the mother's expense, as they say. In other words, the baby needs to have what it needs to have, rather mama has enough or not, the baby needs it. So therefore we give the mother the foods that are going to benefit her and help development of the child at the various trimesters as to what is being formed within the mother's womb. So it has to have the vitamin A, B, C, E, and once the body has that, it will become what it needs to become, and it comes out a healthy little one. Burdock root tea, Cascara sagrada bark, catnip leaf tea, chickweed leaf and stem tea, cinnamon bark tea, cramp bark tea, dandelion leaf and root, eyebright, false unicorn root, fennel seed leaf and flower, fenugreek seed tea, feverfew bark, leaves and flowers, flaxseed tea, ginger root tea, ginkgo biloba, panax, golden seal, gaticola, gravel root, green leaf, hawthornberry, horehound leaf, horsetail, juniper berry, kava kava, kombucha, lemon balm, lemon verbena, licorice root, linden flower tea, lobelia leaf and flower, maiwang stem tea, malva, marigold, or another name for marigold would be calendula, marshmallow flower, leaf and root, mother's wort, mullein, nettle, orange peel tea. Don't throw your peelings away. Because, we were talking about the watermelon in the very beginning and the benefits of getting cholesterol from the rind, not cholesterol, getting the green stuff from there. Yeah, memory, yeah, go for it. But the body needs to be able to have, we talked about mullein, nettle, orange peel. Use the peelings. It's important. And a lot of times make sure it'll say they have something sprayed on the outside of like your grapefruits, your oranges, to make sure that it travels better, it stays longer on the grocery shelf so they don't have to throw it away. So it's there for us to use. And the reason I'm going through all of these, parsley, portiaco, peppermint, red clover, red raspberry, rose hips, sage, all these things, I think we skipped a page in between there, are important. Yeah. And we got sarsaparilla. Now, if you're an old watcher of movies, especially the old westerns, the guy'd go to the bar and ask for sarsaparilla. It's kind of like a root beer instead of a regular beer. Saw palmetto, senna, shepherd's purse, skullcap, slippery elm, thyme, turmeric, erva usi, valerian, vervain, yarrow, yellow dock, yucca root, and watermelon seed tea. We had the other one I had, it was watermelon rind, and then now the watermelon seed is a natural diuretic. It cleans or flushes out the kidneys and the bladder. Note, to make, grind seeds and pour a pint of boiling water over 1 tablespoon, steep for 15 minutes, strain, and drink. And that came from Health is Your Birthright, when it came to the quote about the watermelon tea. And if you just joined us, I talked about that in the very beginning, how watermelon is used the rind. I don't use the outside, you can, but I use the rind, the seeds, and the red or yellow meat that's in the watermelon. Very good, very refreshing. With the hot weather we've been having, it is an absolutely wonderful beverage. It's been great talking to you guys today. May you remember your life and your health are your responsibility. We at Remedy This Naturally are helpful to you for your journey and letting you know that God's way is the best way. Until we meet again, may good health be yours, and may you find the answers in the natural approach to your health. I'm your host, Claiborne Holtzman.